Hello guys, welcome to episode 2 of reviewing people's chapter 1 to 5. If you've not watched the first episode, I advise you watch it. And also this video is also going to provide some valuable tips and also show you how to avoid some of these mistakes. If you're not yet subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel, like this video. It takes a lot to create this. So the least you can do is to help me and spread the word so we can reach out to more students. The goal is to help a lot of students understand this whole research thing, and we need your help to push the message. I know you didn't like it, but please just go and like it now. Now I'm telling you, please. Alright, so let's get into the video. I don't know when it's time for me to like film or something. That's when somebody will start making noise in the background. Yeah, so I apologize for that if you hear any noise in the background. So your topic is supposed to be a standalone page, and maybe you might know that, but I just want to point out that because this is what I saw. You can't have your cover page and your chapter 1 like starting immediately. So what I did for you is to show you how it's being done. So this is how it's being done. So like your, I don't know if it applies to every other person. Like I just added it because this is what I see now and people do. You add your school logo, your topic, your name, your matric number, where you're submitting it, your college, and all that. So you can look at this and you can take ideas and you can learn from it and apply to yours. So this is wrong. For your background of study, you need to shift this back. I explained this in my previous video. That's why I encourage you guys to subscribe to this channel and watch this video audits, because some of the things that are going on and some of the corrections I make are applicable to everybody, and it's not everything I can cover within a time frame, because I'm trying to make it as fast as possible and also not dwell on it, because sometimes watching people do this stuff is actually boring and nobody talks about this. So I'm just trying to show you behind the scenes of how it's being done and everything. So always justify your work. Like your work shouldn't be scattered in the sense that it's there's space here and here. Like just try as much as possible to make it aligned at the end, like it covers the paper. I think that's what I understand by justification. Don't write your research like you're trying to make it readable, like you're trying to make it easy on the eyes, like in terms of like giving space and like all that. I don't know why these people really want to frustrate me. I have to be pausing the recording because of the noise.
Welcome to Nigeria.
Try as much as possible not to keep space like this space and all these little space to make it easy on the eyes. I'm not saying you should pack everything together, but like there's a format people use to make their work presentable. I'm going to just show you how it is after I'm done with it, so you understand what I mean. So as you can see, this is a more cleaned up version of your work, and the spacing you can see is not like as if every sentence I'm giving space, every full stop or like one or two full stops I'm giving space. So just try as much as possible to organize your work very well. So I want to point out this, and I want you to be aware of what you're doing. Your objectives are 5 in number. Having 5 objectives is a lot of work to do, actually, especially when you're doing your bachelor's degree. I feel like it's so much. I did 4 during my master's period because it's a lot, actually. I'm just trying to tell you, because every objective you have to analyze your objective in your chapter 4, and you need to fully talk about it and everything. So if you have 5, you're just like giving yourself a lot of work. I will advise you to go for 3, and yeah, if you want to do 5 you can do. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, you can do, but it's just a lot of work. So yeah, if you want to continue, you can go ahead. I'm not telling you that you should not do it, but I'm just giving you an heads up so you know ahead of time. And also, yeah, I noticed that the gaps between your sections are too big, and it's not supposed to be so. So let it just be like a new sentence, like a new line. Try as much as possible to reduce it. This is one mistake I see. Your definition of terms, I want you to know that you need to number this definition of terms. Don't use bullet point when you're writing your research. I see people do that a lot, and me, I did that a lot, and I've learned the best way to do it. They don't use bullet points. I normally use Roman numerals, or you can use alphabets A, B, C, D, and all that. So those are the two acceptable formats that you use to number your research. So you guys can learn from this. Try as much as possible to use Roman numerals on ABCD and all that. So yeah, when you're doing, so you also need a table of contents, and I notice you don't have, and you're using a normal text for your headings. If you watch the previous video I posted not too long ago, you're going to see me talk about this in the previous video, so I don't want to spend time on that again. So just try as much as possible to watch it. Your line spacing between your work should be 1.5. So everything should be uniform in 1.5. Don't do 2.5 except, or 2, except your department asks you to do so. The line spacing I normally see is 1.5, so that's fine. And don't do 1, or you see how tight it is, and it's very, very hard to read. Like don't stress people, just do 1.5 and you'll be fine. So I'm going to create a new page just to have the table of contents on this page, and you go to references, you go to table of contents, and I normally pick automatic table 2. So you can see it's already populated. If you don't have this as a heading, if you don't have it as a heading, you have to start doing this dot 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 manually and writing it manually. But if you add everything as a heading, and you can see these are the only 3 that are on the table of contents, and these other ones, the moment I change it to a heading 2, I just want to add the 1.2, I guess. So now I've added 1.2. If I update the table, it's going to show, and you can see. And I just wanted to let you know that your scope of study is actually very, very short. So while editing the video and I'm talking about scope, I actually realized that there's something I need to do, and I need to show you guys. This part of the video is going to show you behind the scenes of the paid review. I'm going to show you some of the reasons why I decided to show you why you might want to consider the paid version. I'm also talking to everyone that's watching the video, not only the person that I'm auditing the video for, which I don't want to disclose information and everything. So your scope of study is actually very short, and it's like a trap, because you're leaving the research open for attacks when you're defending. Because, so hear me out, the old version of what you said is that you're checking out the influence on the movie, and that is like too broad, because the influence on what exactly happened in the movie. Are we looking at the scripts, the filming, the cinematography, the lighting, the camera angles? Like there are so many things that so people can ask you about what you're focused on, and if you're not specific on what you're focused on and they ask you questions, you're not going to know, because you didn't actually write on that. If they ask you questions about those other ones, you can easily tell them that your scope is limited to only this, like this is what you're actually considering, and that is going to be a very good answer. And for you to be like lost for words when they ask, because you didn't actually include it as part of your scope. So this is going to help you when you're defending your work. You need to be clear on the where. And you said it's Caleb University. What is the population scope? Are you targeting full-time undergraduate students? Are you targeting master's students? Are you targeting PhD students? You didn't make mention of any time frame in your work, and this is very critical, because I noticed that your topic is time frame sensitive. Straw is like a 2025 movie, and you're carrying out a research in 2025 on Caleb University students, and their perception can change. Your research must be time bound, and since the perception of people changes, you can add the academic calendar 2025/2026 academic section, and this also helps you clarify that if the perception of the students change after the time frame that you put, does not make your research invalid. So this is an example of what you can consider when writing the scope of study, and you can tweak this to suit your taste. You can also ask ChatGPT or any other AI tool to refine this based on what I've already given you. And also, I just realized something that may hurt you in the long run, and I just have to talk about it.
Bros, this hard. Things are hard.
So when I was doing the research, I was trying to understand the whole straw concept and whatever, and I had to check Google to understand what straw was, and I realized that it was a movie. And the first thing that came to my mind is that I don't know about straw. I've not watched it, and you mentioned it in your chapter one that Caleb students have watched straw. I realized that many people may not have watched straw. So I just want to paste the worst case scenario so you can be aware when you're going ahead with this research. So imagine you're going the questionnaire route and you send your questionnaire to 200 people, and that is already in your chapter 4. And out of the 200 people that you send your questionnaires, 170 actually says they've not watched the movie. That is going to affect your research. So, and you can't really measure the effects of a movie on what people have not actually watched, and you have no data to actually analyze your work, and you start panicking weeks before the deadline because the time for your questionnaire should have been too late because people have already filled your questionnaire, and there's not much you can do at that point in controlling the questions that has already been sent to people, and you can't really influence it. So I'm not trying to fully discourage you. There's still a fix to this. You can ask 15 people from each department in Caleb University if they've actually watched the movie, and if you find out that there are some people that have actually watched the movie, then you can actually go ahead with it. The second risk that I noticed that might affect you is that you mentioned that the problem is that students don't appreciate their mother, and in academic research you can't say that students don't love their mother because it's very hard to prove, and it sounds like a judgmental claim or a moral opinion and not a scientific fact. So it's actually hard to measure how a 2-hour movie is going to influence the relationship between students and their mom. So you need to change what you're measuring. Don't measure do they love their mom now. You can measure perception, like did the movie make you more aware of the challenges that single mothers face? At least that is more easier to answer. So the third risk I noticed is that it's going to be very difficult for you to find the data related to the whole concept. Remember, the movie is 2025, so it's new, and I don't think there's much people that have written journals or articles about this. So you're going to be like one of the first, or you're creating the data by asking students questions. So it's going to be more harder for you. And the fix is that since you're not going to find past research on straw, you can change the idea to Tyler Perry. So you can change the movie to Tyler Perry's movies, but I don't even know who that person is.
You serious?
Or movies about motherhood, because a lot of people might know Tyler Perry's movies. I don't know them, but a lot of people in Caleb might actually know some of our movies, and you can use that to measure some of the whole stuffs about motherhood. There's also another way, but it's very hard. You can ask a lot of people that you know to actually watch the movie if they don't know about this thing. If they don't know about the movie, they can watch the movie, and after watching the movie, you can give them a questionnaire or you can interview them to get response, and that's actually very much stressful. So I'm just trying to give you options to consider. I'm not against you picking this, but you also need to be aware of the challenges that comes with it. So this is my advice to you. You should change the topic to something like the influence of Nollywood dramas on the perception of single mothers among other graduates. Then your questionnaire, you can ask if they've watched Straw and some other movies that are related to the concepts you're trying to research on. And I just had to add this part to the video I shared before, because a lot of people are struggling with this, and you might struggle with it later on. So I'm just trying to tell you so you can be aware of what is ahead to come if you're actually going this route, so you can make an informed decision. Also, to all those people that are using ChatGPT to write their chapter 1 to 5, this is the pure case of you would have not actually discovered this.
You think that you are doing good, you are doing lunatic encyclopedic petriculation of Jajatica.
I hope this is clear to you that it actually matters who is using the chat GPT, because you probably would have just written this topic and submitted and you think that is all and you'll be correcting and correcting. I'm not trying to make myself sound knowledgeable, but out of like my master's degree and bachelor's degree, I've taken experience and I've understood some of these concepts, and it's very easy for me to spot out some of these concepts, and this is why I can boldly accept the fact that in the presence of AI I'm still valuable and people are still going to pay me to do their research work for them.
Like I know it would. I feel good.
Hey.
Hey, what's up,
Hey,
man?
why are you so happy back there and I'm taking you to jail?
Hey, man, look at this. I'm so happy, bro. When you're taking me.
And if any of you is interested in doing a paid audit, kindly reach out to me via the community. This is actually going to help and it's going to save you stress from some of the corrections your supervisors are going to give you. You might actually not realize this until that day of defense, and somebody might ask you a question and be like, I didn't actually think about this. So, and it's going to affect the homework that you spent in hours and hours into doing. So some of these mistakes can be spotted, and I'm not claiming that I know everything, because even though when I do some of these corrections, everybody and every supervisor has their own taste. I'm here to refine your work, and hopefully your supervisor doesn't have much to complain about or much to give you to change. And even though they have some to review, everybody's not perfect. Everybody has their own preference. I try as much as possible to adapt and learn. And whenever I'm writing research for other people, I will not make that similar mistakes. So supervisors actually stress your life. So if you know what you're doing and they like you, they will not stress you. You need to pray for favor, guys, for that. I didn't want to actually talk about the paid offer, but it just made sense to like show you guys what I actually discovered while shooting the video and adding this part to the video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please share this video to as many people as you know that are writing projects, research. If you're not doing your final year projects right now, you can still save this video for later. It's going to help you. Please like this video. It was actually a lot. Filming, scripting, editing and everything.
Very as you can see, I'm shooting this video and somebody's revving their bands behind and it's affecting the video, but what can I say?